How are we, boys and girls? Welcome to the Going Down Under podcast. I'm your host, Braam Hein, creating Koala on all social medias. And here we will be deep diving on everything health and wellness related. Today's episode 2. Exciting times. Whoa. Wild times. Didn't think I'd make a second one. I did think I'd make a second one, but I didn't even think I'd make a first one in the first place. So this one's pretty cool. This is one of my favorite topics, nutrition. We'll be going over the 5 biggest nutrition mistakes that I think everyone goes through in their health journeys. I've been through all of these specifically a few of them. They mean a lot to me. Not mean a lot to me, but I know a lot about them because I went through them heavily. First things first, my shoulders got absolutely torn up by hack squats today. I did hack squats and I put them in my program because I hate myself. No, I don't actually hate myself. But hack squats, dude, they suck in the best way possible. Like just the deepest range of motion. Yeah, I said that. Anyway, also, complete side note from nutrition, health and wellness. It's probably wellness related because it's awesome. But if you guys haven't heard of Pete and Bass, it's these at least 65-year-old British guys. Old, they're old. They look old and they sound old, but they're like rappers. And it's the coolest thing ever because it's hilarious to listen to old British people rap, but at the same time, it goes kind of hard. Like the beats and like the delivery of some of the lines is so good. Specifically, Mugshot Freestyle, it just came out like maybe like a month ago. There's a remix of the Mugshot Freestyle. Listen to that. It's featuring like the Northern Boys. It's so funny. It's like there's, but it's also like kind of still hard. It's so sick. There's this one like older British lady that's in the other group that's in the remix, and she goes, "All right, that." It's on TikTok. It's so funny. It's so funny. She also says some other. There are some crazy lines in their music, and it's so funny to me. But it's also like kind of hype. I love British music because it's just the Grimes especially is sick. I love it. I don't know why, but I think one of my mates, Ollie, put me onto it, and I love you for that. Or did I put you onto that? I don't even know if you're watching this, but I'm talking to you like you are. Jesus, sorry. Anyway, nutrition. Okay, nutrition to me is one of the most important things in general for people, but also especially for people who work out and care about their health, and especially for athletes, just because it's so key in so many aspects of performance and enhancing your abilities that it's not taught to athletes, in my opinion, in depth at least. Obviously, people know the basics, like eat fruits and vegetables, eat lean meats, eat low calorie foods, whatever. Or just make sure you're eating enough. Or like if you're bulking and you need to eat a lot of stuff. Sorry, I almost swore there. I'm gonna swear. Anyway. Or if you're trying to lose weight, eat less, cut out things. Like go carnivore or go vegan. God. I went vegan one time for like a month. I don't know if some people might remember that. Dude, I felt awful. I did find a lot of things that I actually incorporate into my diet now, like a lot of alternatives to things. Like this, the one bean edamame or black bean pasta. It's pretty not pretty bad for your gut health. It's just kind of gets you bloated a little bit, but it's like 50 grams of protein for half a box of it. And it tastes pretty good too. It's just like an alternative to pasta, and it's pretty low calorie and it's pretty high in protein. We'll get into that kind of stuff later. But I did like that. But everything else just sucked. Being a vegan sucks. I'm sorry. If you like it, props to you. And if you can live off that, props to you. Bro, like steak exists. What are we talking about? Steak exists. Chicken. Like, why would you just want to eat broccoli? I mean, broccoli's good if you like roast it. But like, dude, just anyway, that's another tangent. But it's very important for performance. Nutrition, because you need to eat the right things to feel your best, to perform your best. And I don't think a lot of people understand it in terms of how certain foods affect their own body and how certain foods can help enhance their performance in certain micronutrients, macronutrients, and the difference between the two. And a lot of higher level athletes, like elite athletes, they have the facilities to give them that. They just don't know about it. They just get given what they get given, and they just eat it because they trust them, which is good because they probably nutritionists, very smart people. They give the nutrition advice or just give them the nutrition that'll help them perform better. But I feel like health knowledge as a whole and as a science field basically isn't taught to people, and I feel like it's kind of demonized because there's so many things within the fitness world and within the regular world that have conflicting opinions. Like, if people want to eat a salad, they're like, oh, dude, we get it, you care about your health. First of all, if people do that to you, tell them to respectfully fuck themselves. And then there's other things of like, you either have to be 100% dialed in on your nutrition, or you're completely off the rails, that kind of stuff. There's just such a disparity between the two that you can't find a good middle ground if you don't know about it, if you haven't learned about it. And especially in America, I've noticed it's not taught about at all. And there's just so much fluffed shit out there on social media that you don't understand the basics of things. Because realistically, that's what nutrition is. It's just a few basic things you can follow and you'll be fine. You'll feel way better than you usually would, probably. But there's also the thing of, you can't just, what I'm trying to express is, as long as you know about nutrition, it makes it easier to not worry about it, because you know about it. You know what things make you feel good. You know how much you probably need to eat on a daily basis. You don't need a calorie count usually, unless you know nothing about it. Calorie counting is very helpful. Calorie counting is a very useful tool. I do it personally, just because I feel like it's best for me and I can adjust things how I need to. But there's a lot of people that I know, especially like elite athletes. Like, I mean, I go to the University of Michigan. I know a lot of college athletes, and they don't really have time to worry about it. They just need to eat food because they're burning so many calories. Like, they just need to eat so much food, and they still probably lose weight because they're working out 2-3 times a day, maybe 2-3 hours at a time each, you know? But for the regular person, it's not expressed enough how much different you can perform. Not even just performing in the gym, it's just an overall performance throughout the day. Like, the brain and gut are just there's so many things that are connecting. I'm not going to go into that right now. I probably will later. But there's just so many connections between the two that if you fix your gut microbiome, you'll think clearer, you'll have more energy, you'll wake up easier, you'll wake up more refreshed, you'll recover better, you'll be able to think clearer in meetings, you'll be able to have conversations with people and track them. And you might see different colors, and that's a lie. You might hear sounds that you've never heard, and that's also a lie. You maybe, I don't know. But just a few tweaks here and there can go such a long way, in my opinion. But so the first biggest nutrition mistake that I think people don't understand is the pure concept of calories. I know a guy, I love you to death. He always jokes around that he doesn't believe in calories. Obviously, he does believe in calories. He knows calories exist. But things like every single calorie has a value, right? Of one, basically. And obviously, calories are just how much energy it takes for your body to go 1 degree Celsius higher. That's all it is, really. But the calories are in food, and calories are in most liquids other than water. There's trace calories, whatever. But people aren't taught how to manage calories and how different things have different amounts of calories. Like they don't teach how dates are. They're a fruit, so they're good. Obviously, eat fruits, please. Dates are a lot higher in calories than other forms of fruit, and people just demonize a lot of different things because they see the disparity in calories, or they just see there's so many carbohydrates in this, rather than looking at the overall calories of things. And burning more calories doesn't necessarily mean you should eat more calories. It just means that if you're expending more energy, you're most likely going to need to eat more calories, but you don't have to necessarily. And a lot of people overconsume calories because they're not conscious of what things they can swap out in terms of carbohydrates, say in Gatorade. There's like 25, 26 calories in Gatorade. Carbohydrates in Gatorade. They could swap that out for a banana or something like that. And you'll feel more satiated. Probably, I'm not saying you'll feel better necessarily, but there are differences in calories in things that people aren't always recognizing. And the biggest thing about calories is that calories in and calories out is the only way you can lose or gain weight. There aren't special cleanses, diets that will make you burn calories more so than other. The only way to lose weight or gain weight or stay at the weight you're at is calorie management. If you are consuming less calories, if you're in a calorie deficit, then you will lose weight. If you are over consuming calories, if you are in a calorie surplus, then you will gain weight. And if you are eating exactly, roughly, like within 50 to 100, or if over the week's period, you're at your maintenance calories, you will not gain weight. You will not lose weight. You will stay at the weight you're at. Now, obviously, if you're eating things that are higher in protein, the high protein diet, you're going to burn more calories through that, since protein has the highest thermic effect of food, which just means your body needs to use more energy to be able to burn the calories that are in the protein to utilize it. That's just how the body works, which is why higher protein diets are better for weight loss and weight management, because you can eat more of it technically. Not to a great extent, maybe like 5-10% extent, just because your body's burning so much more energy eating protein. I'm gonna have a whole episode on protein, brother, because oh my god, people just don't understand the importance of it. There's just so much literature out there on why it's like the best macronutrient to eat, just in terms of literally everything. And it's so hard to overeat. Sorry, another tangent. Anyway, basically what I'm trying to say is calories. I'm not saying you need to count calories. All I'm saying is you need to know that they exist and that they matter. And they're a thing that you should worry about. Not worry about in terms of, God, there's 300 calories in this thing. That's blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go into that later. But just as long as you know about them and you can kind of discern between different things and different caloric measures and what each thing is going to affect your body in a way, you'll be fine. Okay? So number 2, the quality of foods that people eat. I feel like I'm a big advocate for whole foods. And I think some people take that as all I eat is whole foods and all I advocate. I think people should only eat whole foods. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Whole foods are the best for your body, right? It's what we've literally been built and designed as humans to eat. Meats, fruits, vegetables, all that jazz, all good for you, all really good for you. If the majority of what you eat is that, you're in good shape and you will probably look and feel your best. to an extent. Obviously, there's people who take it to large extremes, like Santa Cruz Medicinals, Paul Saladino, all those kind of guys. Obviously, it is good if you can do that. It's not sustainable for a lot of people. I feel like a lot of, especially athletes, they can't do that just because, again, it's so hard to eat enough of that stuff, which is good for most people if you're trying to lose weight or just look your best. If you eat majority of that, you're going to feel fantastic. You're going to look fantastic, and it'll just be so hard to want to eat anything else because there's so much fiber, there's so much protein, there's so many complex carbohydrates, so many micronutrients. It's good. It's good for you. But you need to have balance with the quality of food. There's obviously the 80-20 rule or 90-10 rule, however you want to see it. You need to have the balance and understand that as long as the majority of your diet is good quality, unprocessed foods. And by that, I also mean, because there's probably arguments in terms of everything's slightly processed. Yeah, everything's slightly processed. You're not going to, there's obviously chicken. Rice is technically processed. Even if you wash rice, that's technically processing it. And olive oil is technically processed, even though it's really good for you. And butter is technically processed, and butter is not bad for you. It's really not. As long as you don't overeat it, you're fine. And also, at the same time, eating processed things is okay. As long as you're not eating Doritos the entire day, you're going to be fine. If you have some chips every now and then, that's fine. If you have a protein bar, that's technically processed, that's fine. If you're saying, oh my God, but that means I can't have whey protein because that's processed. If that's the thing that you're worried about that's processed, you're in pretty good shape. Because if that's the one thing that you have on a daily basis that's processed, you're fine. And the difference between whole foods and highly processed foods is how your body responds to them. And what you're eating in terms of the calorie content and the micronutrient content especially is so drastic that 80 to 90% of your diet should be whole foods. And then the rest of it can be whatever you want to an extent. Obviously, don't say, okay, well, then I can just eat a whole tub of Ben & Jerry's. Honestly, though, if you want to every now and then, go for it. I do it sometimes. I don't think I look too bad. Don't respond to that. But especially if you're an athlete, it's probably closer to 70-30, maybe even 60-40, depending on what sport you play, because you just need to eat calories, brother. You just need food. You just need to replenish the stores that you're depleting, because otherwise you just destroy your body. I was in that stage when I played basketball. I was trying so hard to lose weight or whatever. I just underate so much that I just lead to injuries. It's because I was just destroying my body and I wasn't realizing that I just needed to eat more food. And I would still probably lose a little bit of weight. I just was like, okay, I just need to eat like 2,100 calories. There was one stage I was eating like 1,300. That was when I was like 19 and stupid. Dude, I ate cauliflower rice and tofu for 2 meals a day. Oh my God, that sucked. That was so bad. And like maybe onion was like this saving grace of that meal. And then also I had that was weird. I had oatmeal and I had like a fat burner in it. First of all, fat burners only work because it's caffeine. It's just caffeine increases energy expenditure and increases the total overall body temperature, which makes you kind of burn a little bit more calories. Not a lot. Don't buy fat burners, please, please. Even though some of them taste pretty good, like Oxystrode actually tastes really nice. There's another one from Emerald Labs, which I can't remember what the name of it is. That tastes gas. It tastes really nice. It's just what you think it's doing is not what it's doing. So don't buy fat burners. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is for the quality of foods, if you're burning a shite ton of calories, if you're like an endurance athlete, you probably need to eat processed foods to an extent, not a lot, but like a decent amount, just because you need the calories. And the rest of it should be majority whole foods, and you'll be good. Third mistake I see a lot, and what I've done in the past, is the if it fits your macros mentality versus just having flexibility. I used to do a lot of things where like, okay, well, I can eat this packet of M&Ms if I just cut out some of the potatoes from my dinner, and then I'll feel fantastic because I just ate M&Ms, and it's good for my brain because I need it. And that's okay to an extent, but there's a huge difference between just allowing yourself to have M&Ms or Skittles or Reese's peanut butter cups because they're gas, and trying to make sure that it fits within your certain caloric expenditure for the day, because otherwise it's going to turn to shit if you don't do that. And then, oh, just because I ate the M&Ms, so my day's whole ruined, and I may as well just have a pizza for dinner. It's just such a dumb mentality to me, because I've been there. I was that, and I would have so many days of where I would just try and eat perfectly, and I'd be like, oh, I could have, like, there's like a packet of maybe what are they called? Fruit snacks or gummy bears or whatever. I'd take like a little packet of it, and then maybe 80 calories, maybe. Which in the grand scheme of things, if you over the entire week, if you eat 80 more calories on one day, but the rest of them you're perfect, you're in fantastic shape. I would do that, and I would just eat like shit for the rest of the day, because I'm like, oh, well, I've messed up here, so it's ruined. If it fits your macros, is okay. If you can feel good and do that while trying to lose weight, do it. I wouldn't recommend it personally. I would try to recommend just being flexible with your entire weekly expenditure or monthly expenditure, if you look at it at a grand scheme of things. Like, having flexibility within your diet or nutrition is so important, because I see so many people worrying so much about what they're eating in a day or even like a few hours span, that it just ruins their mentality towards food. We'll get into that in a second. But for example, I did like a mini cut weight loss phase, whatever, the past few months, and I go to this trivia night with my friends, and there's this deal for a $7 smash burger. It's 2 patties and some chips for $7. But can't beat that. It's fantastic, right? And it tastes so good. But I remember they were talking about it to me, and in my head, my first thought was, I know it's a good deal, but I can't have that because it's like, it's not gonna fit my calories for the day. I'm like, then I really thought about it. I'm like, that one meal doesn't matter as long as I'm still gonna eat the rest of my same meals today, because I still had like, I'll just replace that with my regular dinner, which is still, my regular dinner is like 650, 700 calories, which I still love. But in terms of just like, bro, having that and having the social connection and having just the camaraderie, the companionship, all that stuff, it's just so much more important. And plus, it's a smash burger. It's nice. It tastes good. And I'm not in a bad spot towards food at all anymore. But sometimes those kind of thoughts creep in. I'm like, damn, I'm like, bro, it's just a smash burger, brother. It's not anything crazy. And at the end of the day, it's just meat, a little bit of bread. Like, is it the best quality meat? Probably not. There's some chips on the side, fries, whatever. Who cares? Like, in the entire week, I'm still progressing. I'm still on track with everything else. It's not like I do this every day. It's not even a cheat meal, because I hate that terminology. But it's just like, it's just food. That's all it is. I don't have a relationship towards food. I have relationships with people. Shout out Higher Up Wellness for that. It's just food. It's just fueling my body. Would I feel better eating something else? Probably. Do I still want to eat that? Yeah, because it's good. And plus, I'm with friends. It's going to be good. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine in the grand scheme of things. Nutrition and diets are all about longevity. It's just, you can't worry about those small things. Enough on that. Okay. The fourth thing, kind of spinning off that, is people demonizing certain foods. No food is good or bad for you. Like, let me rephrase that. No food should be labeled as good or bad for you. There are obviously, unless you eat a tub of lard, which probably, or oil, it probably wouldn't be fantastic for you. At the end of the day, that's still not even the bad. Like, as long as it's not going to kill you, you're going to be fine. There are foods that are obviously better for you, like whole foods. But eating other things is still okay. You can't, if you nibble on some, like a cracker at an event you're at, your day isn't ruined because you ate a bad food. I know a lot of people, especially older generations, are kind of geared towards, well, carbs are bad for you. That's fucking wrong. Sorry, Janet. I'm sorry if anyone's named Janet that you know. This is the first name that I thought of. But the whole concept of being healthy, there's so many stigmatisms towards that. Is that a word, stigmatism? I don't know. But that's why there's so many bad relationships with food, and so many disorders like anorexia and bulimia and binge eating disorder, because people demonize so many things. I mean, I had that. I used to think that eating a lot of fat was so bad for you. I'm like, I just need, like I can't overeat on fat because otherwise I'll get fat. That's fucking so stupid. Sorry. Calories are all that matter for that, for getting fat or not getting fat. That's all that matters. But you also need fats. You need they're called essential fats for a reason, like polyunsaturated fats, monounsaturated fats, all that stuff. They're good for you. Like, your body needs them for hormone regulation, all that stuff, immune system regulation, everything. And even saturated fats are like deemed as bad. But like, as long as you're not eating like 80 grams of saturated fat in a day, even then, like, the carnivore diet is basically that. Am I recommending you do the carnivore diet? No. But there are some people who live better lives because they went on a carnivore diet, just because they started to focus in on their nutrition. It's just, they just ate a lot more protein. Like, it's basically what the carnivore diet is. Obviously, there's a lot of micronutrient deficiencies within that, but all I'm trying to say is, don't demonize food in any way, and don't have a strong opinion towards if something is classified as healthy or unhealthy, because at the end of the day, none of the food is going to kill you. It's just food. Your body's going to digest it. Will some foods make you a little bit more bloated? Probably. So you got to find what works for you, what works with your body. Some people can eat like poop. I know a guy, my undergrad, shout out you if you're watching this, brother would eat nothing all day. And he'd just eat like 2 Big Macs, a milkshake, and a large fries from McDonald's. And he also wondered why he couldn't gain weight. You know why you couldn't gain weight. You just weren't eating enough, or you weren't eating the right things either. But he was one of the most athletic people I've ever seen in my life. Like, he was tweening with ease, windmill up the glass. He'd just come into practice, wasn't pretty tired, and he'd just, boom. I throw lobs to that throw lobs to that guy all the time. I was about to say motherfucker, and I said it anyway. Nice. Sick. But the point is, don't demonize food, because there's so many situations where they might not have any other option. So just eat that food. and don't go off the rails, and you'll be fine. The last thing I want to harp on is the fifth mistake, which is your diet is never going to be perfect. It's so hard. It's nearly impossible to have the perfect diet because you need to get so many micronutrients, blah, 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 blah. As long as you're hitting your marks every now and then and you're pretty consistent with what you're eating and your calorie consumption, depending on your goals, whatever your goals are, as long as you're pretty consistent with those within a month, within a week, you're good. It's not your day by day. Obviously, your days lead up to those, so try to make them as good as you can, but don't make them perfect. If you focus on making them perfect, you will fail. Nick Bare, the CEO of BPN, has a perfect quote that I really hit me when I heard it. Consistently good will always be occasionally perfect. I kind of messed that up, sorry. But if you focus on being perfect all the time, if you're a perfectionist, like I kind of am, it just ruins a lot of things, because then you have those days where you're like, well, I messed up, so this day's ruined, so I may as well just go off the rails, or I might as well just eat like shit. Dude, it's okay if one of your days you mess up. One day you might overeat by 1,000 calories. Would I recommend that? No. But it's gonna happen sometimes. Maybe. Like, sometimes you're on a holiday. Who cares? Enjoy the holiday. That's what it's for. Don't worry about so much shit leading up to the perfectionism of things. That goes for everything else as well. It goes for workouts, it goes for business, goes for family life, goes for relationships. Nothing is gonna be perfect. If something's perfect, you're probably doing it wrong. You aren't actually experiencing what's going on. Enjoy food. It tastes good. But just as long as you learn about it and you know what you're doing within the foods that you're eating, and you know when to eat it, meal timing is important, but it's not the end of the world. If you don't have your quick carbohydrates 30 minutes before your workout's gonna suck. It might not be as good, but who cares? You just do it the next time. As long as you don't stack weeks and months. That's how people get into bad spots, because they stack weeks and months because they're not perfect. Just learn about nutrition and you'll be fine. As long as you learn about it and you know about it and you have a base understanding of what's going on, you're fine. And you will be fine. You won't fall into deep rabbit holes like I have. What I am making this whole video for is because I want to really emphasize that nutrition is really important. It really is. I believe wholeheartedly in nutrition, and it has changed my perspective on a lot of things just by learning about it and implementing a lot of things. But it's not more important than living your life. Being present and enjoying things and enjoying people, not like that, enjoying events, or like that, I don't know what you're doing, is the most important thing. Because unless you're a bodybuilder, unless you are on a bodybuilding prep and you are so close to the show, that's a lie. Unless you're on a bodybuilding prep in general, you don't need to be the guy who's bringing chicken and rice to your daughter's birthday party. And you don't need to be the person who shuns events because they're like, well, I can't be near food, blah, blah, blah. I get that because I've been there. And it sucks. It's not fun. I used to not go out on the town at all for like over a year and a half. Like, I remember one time I went out for the first time in a long time and there were people screaming because they're like, holy shit, this guy's out. This guy is enjoying life. And I was like, damn, is it really that deep? Am I really not enjoying my life right now? Not saying that you need to go out to enjoy your life, but I'm saying I just didn't go out to any events because I was like, I can't drink alcohol because it's bad for me. Alcohol is technically bad for you. But at the same time, bro, if you have a little bit every now and then, who cares? It's not, it doesn't stay in your system for ages. You're not destroying your body. I love alcohol. I probably shouldn't say that. That makes me sound like an alcoholic. Some of my friends think I'm an alcoholic. I'm not. I just enjoy drinking alcohol sometimes. Not all the time. But the purpose of nutrition knowledge is to help you. It isn't supposed to make your life more miserable. As long as you cover the bases, just enjoy the rest of your life. Have cake every now and then. I'm not a huge fan of cake, honestly, but I'll eat it if it's there. Like, if I go out to an event and there's some stuff there, I'm probably gonna eat it. I used to worry so much about that stuff. There's no point. If on a daily basis, say I burn 2,500 calories on a daily basis, roughly, and I'm trying to lose weight, so I eat 2,100 calories, 2,300 to 2,000 calories, roughly, and I will start losing weight. If one of those days I go to an event and I eat a cookie, and that day I'm now at 2,500 calories. I used to think that was the end of the world because I ate the cookie. I'm like, now I'm just, okay, that day I just ate 2,500 calories, which is at my maintenance, which I didn't hinder myself in any way because in the grand scheme of things, I'm still progressing. Or say, maybe that same event, that same day, I had 3 cookies. Now I'm at 2,900 calories. Oh my God. But my day is ruined. No. No, it's not. You're at 400 calories over your maintenance. And honestly, if I ate those, I might have had a little bit more energy. Might have done a little dance, did a little jig. Maybe hit a Dougie a little bit because I can. Watch out. Anyway. I might have burnt like an extra 100 calories. So I'm only in a 300 calorie deficit. Well, surplus, sorry, for that day. So it's not that deep. It isn't. Unless you're a bodybuilder, where you need to take it, when you're literally building your body, you need to take so much caution and care of what you're putting in and what you're, I was going to say excreting out. That's not the word. Putting out, burning. You need to worry about that stuff a lot. But if you're just a general person, or if you're an athlete, honestly, it's not that deep. As long as you're hitting your goals mostly 80, 90% of the time, then you're fine. You're good. You're going to progress towards what you're going to do. Is it better to hit 100% of your goals? Yeah. Is that possible? No. If it is, do it. Let me know how the rest of your life is. It's probably not going to be very fun. That's what I was trying to do. And I'm an experienced person in not having fun. That sounds worse than what I meant for it to sound like. I just had a period of my life where I was so focused on perfecting so many things that I wasn't actually enjoying what I was doing. Now I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I'm having a great time doing it. Because you know why? Because it's enjoyable. Shocker, right? Jesus. I really want to hit myself in the face sometimes just because of that. Not because of that. Other reasons too, just because I'm an idiot. But I went on a tangent. I'm not an idiot. I can't follow things sometimes. But all I'm trying to say is nutrition is important. Learn about it so you don't have to worry about it. I love you. All love.